And I have returned. With Golden Sun, Dark Dawn, which I haven't played in over a week. I used the break to, eat and, do some stuff. Not really. Well, kind of just lay down for a couple minutes and, finish my leftovers. I also had a cup of pumpkin eggnog, which, good God, that stuff is amazing. It's just like drinking a pumpkin pie. Probably gonna clog my arteries, something fierce, but hey. So, we're back. We're in Golden Sun now. Last time, which was last Saturday, I got up to the middle of Harappa, and then I kinda just stopped. Today we're going to explore Harappa, and then head east. We have to learn more about AJ, the region we'll be passing through on our journey to north over the Kirin Mountains. I've been playing this for about 5 hours. So, I think this upcoming week, what we're gonna do is, we're gonna probably aim on finishing Hyrule Warriors and Puyo Tetris. And then, once that's done, I'm gonna be focusing the rest of this month on finishing Dark Dawn. Because this is arguably the longest, the longest game I have left. At this point. I already searched all this, I remember. There's something over there, but I can't get it yet. Oh, that reminds me, I better pull up the Jin Guide on my phone. Just so I don't miss anything. Reef has this when he joins the party. Okay, do I have Cinder yet? No, I don't. Okay, so that's where I'm starting today. Yeah, so this is probably going to be a little light on the streams of this for a little while longer. Just because Puyo 2 isn't going to last much longer, it's probably only going to be like another 2 streams. And Hyrule Warriors is probably only going to be another 2 streams as well, because I'm, what, 4 stories away, from 4 chapters away from the end of that, 4 main maps. And then like a couple of extra stuff afterwards. After I lost the last time I played it, I did do all the side stuff possible, and I went back and beat Mission 15 on normal mode. So I'm not behind anywhere now. I've done everything on normal mode. Okay, last time I checked everything around here. This is where I just came out of. I already upgraded my equipment, I remember that. Oh, country folk, how quaint. Oh, I forgot to add the voice acting tag to the stream, since it's a thing. I have been looking forward to doing more Hyrule Warriors. At the same time, that loss really, like, cheesed me off, so I'm kind of more into wanting to do this right now. But I will, go back to it once, Puyo's done. I'm probably gonna do Puyo on Tuesday again. Just because tomorrow I might do another night of voice acting audition, since Monday seems to be when I get through them. And then Tuesday will be Puyo. Wednesday will probably be Hyrule Warriors again. And then we'll repeat that Thursday and Friday. Actually, I don't know, depending on when Sephiroth gets released in Smash, which could be as early as next Thursday, or as late as probably the following Tuesday, there'll be a Smash stream as well. And then other than that, it'll be Golden Sun until that's done. And if I finish that before the end of the month, then I'll try to go back and finish Creepy Castle. Wanna know what I'm doing? I'm in training. I want to use Synergy. I want to use this thing called Synergy. Someday I'll be a famous adept. You sure will, kid. You sure will. Blah, 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 blah. You sure will, kid. You must be some of those ignorant country people. I bet you've never even heard of Synergy. How'd you do that? You lit the fire! Synergy! Synergy! Put it out now, Tyrell. Come on, Tyrell, extinguish it. I can't. You can't? What do you mean? Fire Ed can start fires, but we can't put them out. It's a sore subject for us. Don't worry, Reef's here. Channeling that Mia energy. Good work, Reef. I'm impressed. Well, I am a water adept. I possess the synergy to put out fires, of course. You did it again, Tyrell. You used your synergy in public. You promised. Yeah, why not? Did this seem funny to you? We're not supposed to throw around our synergy like that. Well, I agree with you completely, Karis. I'm glad to hear it, Grief. In fact, Kraden has taught us that it's crucial to never misuse our powers. Synergy is a gift, and it is not right to abuse it. Anyway, apologies about that little outburst. Do not abuse it, says the party that will abuse heal until they're full on HP. You don't need to worry about that, Reef. We've got discipline, mostly. It's natural to want to show off synergy. But controlling synergy means controlling our minds. We've got to maintain discipline. Yeah, and by we you mean me, right? But I'm not weak, Karis. You? Weak? Of course not. Any son of the warriors of Vale can surely become a true master. Looks like Reef has faith in you already. Of course, I was only saying that we adepts must always need to stay vigilant. Now let's continue. Warriors who can use synergy are in high demand. Every king wants some. That's why we're all practicing. Burn already! If he could do it, so can I! Oh, I can't light it again. They're fried dumplings in a tantalizingly triangular shape. They're so crispy. Harappa Ruins research. The local ruins are thought to be quite marvelous, at least judging from the palatial entrance. Unfortunately, entry can be difficult because the water pavilion they're located by has long since dried up. Dank herb. Are you treasure hunters? If you seek the riches of Harappa Ruins, you may find passage there impossible. But let me pull an old adage from my noggin. Ah yes, where there's a will, there's a way. Good, then you're not wasting your time because there's no way into the local ruins. Besides, if there were a way inside, treasure hunters wouldn't be treasure hunters for long. They'd be monster snacks. Would these monsters happen to be bugs, by any chance? Shortly after the disaster 30 years ago, a well-known monk came to help all the volunteers rebuild the city. But one day he vanished. People worried that monsters in the ruins got to him. Kirin water. This is steamed milk with a blend of sugar and spices. It smells so cinnamony. Oh, you startled me. Curious as to what I'm up to? I'm trying to stir up some alchemy, but I guess it's harder than making soup. I'll tell you anyway, I'm making gold. All you need is a pinch of earth and a smidgen of air, water, and fire. I think. Fortunes told, futures found. Enter to find out your fate. Both Namu and Nemo are great fortune tellers. It's eerie how exact their predictions are. This fortune teller peers into the distant future by gazing into her crystal ball. She and her partner Nemo provide their psychic talents in the city of Harappa. This fortune teller probes the near future by looking into the calm waters in her golden bowl. Excuse me. But I'm their apprentice, so I would say that, wouldn't I? Still, I'm sure they have an uncanny talent. The countries of Caucho and Ayuthe are to the east of the countries of Caucho and Ayuthe to the east are on the verge of war. Caucho has powerful generals, but their warriors, let's just say they need more mercenaries like me. Caucho, this powerful nation was founded by King Woe, who wages war against Passage and Ayuthe from its rich palace. Ayuthe, this country is well known for its beautiful stonework. Its towers, walls, and courtyards are the envy of all AJ. Grave feels cool to the touch. Just gank that feather off that grave right there. Mummified Nyunpa. The people of Harappa recall a monk who was said to have almost achieved perfect enlightenment. His name was Nyunpa, and he was said to live upon spiritual sustenance only, and so he appeared to be a living mummy. Synergy and prophecy. There have long been stories of prophets who walk the land, warning of what the future holds. It is unclear whether prophecy comes from synergy, or if such powers derive from other sources entirely. Excuse me. I sure hope that muted. Okay. Well. Anyway. The people on the southern coast of AJ have been besieged by an army for some time now. If only divine intervention would put a stop to their plight. Oh, no one. No one needs revival. We're good. Oil drop. Not useful. Gonna just sell that for money. Again, later on in the game, I think that gate does come up, so you're able to cross it by coming up here. Douse! Cinder joined you. It's set to Matthew. The Spirit of Fire's last remnants is first met in Harappa. Cinder can ignite vigor in an unconscious ally through sheer determination. Let's give that to Tyrell over here. Give him a straight boost to his stats. Also, I never read the summary of the one that came with Reef. Because he comes with a Djinn. Like I said, later on, you actually get, like, party members that have, like, 6 Djinn attached to them already. This spirit of crystallized ice joined the party with Reef. Sleet's attack wraps enemies in blinding cold, making fighting more difficult. He's like a snowman. This water-based synergy conjures a small storm cloud that can extinguish fires and fill small cavities with water. Alright, I have that water. What does it do? Reduces random monster encounters. Okay, that's cool. Cure in water restores at least 20 PP. Let's give that to Reef. These 3 I could probably sell. I really don't need the monster encounter stuff. Oh, I could sell the Sun Sagas. I don't really need them. Harappa the Rappa Ruins. This looks like a puzzle I can't yet do. I don't think I've gotten here yet. Fancy automatic doors. We're pretty good. Matthew's missing some HP, but it's fine. Harappa was just a pile of ruins before. No highfalutin lord wanted this place. That's why we're free here in the new Harappa. The brilliance of modern Harappa. At night, our revitalized Harappa glows with an unusual illumination. Some believe that this glow is powered by water, but this remains pure speculation. Harappa is stunning at night. The ruins look simply miraculous in all the light. Sleep bomb. They're crepes that are folded over fiery spiced vegetables. Oh. What's that noise? Everyone's doing mostly good. Okay, I guess visiting a city wasn't all that bad. So Reef, where to next? Up and over the Kirin Mountains. Kraden and I once tried to go over the peaks, but we couldn't make the crossing. What? But I thought there was a way to get through. We need to go north to Belinsk. Kraden knew of a way, we just weren't able to take it. Blado said that he knew of a way over the mountains, one that would be treacherous. We will likely find the answer in the mountain town of Passage. So we could cross over in this Passage place? Most likely, for the path to Passage is the only way up the mountain range. Once there, surely we will find the answer for how to go down the other side to Belinsk. I'm sure that we'll figure this out with your help, Reef. Now let's head up those mountains. Oh yeah, I forgot about the fucked up beach because of the high quality mod I have on. Kobolds, look, they're yappy boys. Nice, new ability. Always good. Where is the next Djinn, so I don't miss it? Again, there's multiple points of no return. The last one, you'll know right away when the last one happens. Also, I find it funny that I'm not actually moving, but I could still, like, activate the glitch texture there. In the forested area between the Passage Mountain Climb and Caucho. Okay, so it's not going to be yet. Yeah, so if a weapon doesn't have an ability, it just gets the critical strike ability instead. And if you use it a few times, if you use the weapon a few times, you master it, which means you have a higher chance of proccing it. Also, just like all Golden Sun games, status ailments, very low chance of affecting your party. No. There we go. Fully healed, and it only costs a couple of synergy points. North, Passage Mountain Climb, East Caucho, Southwest Harappa. If I'm not mistaken, once you go through the Passage Mountain Climb, that's a point of no return, technically. The ladder has been cut. It must have happened when Passage was attacked by Caucho soldiers. Oh, never mind. That weapon did have a special move. Maybe I think all the weapons just have critical strike. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm sure it's the right thing. Wind advisory. Dangerous path ahead. Very high chance of powerful gusts. Boggy. Passage safety board. Boggy. This young man helps his grandfather Bogo look after Passage. He lost his parents at an early age and has since devoted himself to serving the people of Passage. Move them. Can't whirlwind them. Can't douse them. Alright, don't think we're getting any farther here. Leather boots. Boots. Boost defense. Who needs it? 50. How much is I almost said Isaac. 59. Alright, let's give him the reef. We're all walking around barefoot out here. Ghost. Uh-oh. This is a little hard to watch, even with the high quality filter on, just because this is so just pixely in general. This is as nice as it looks, though. It's more just the fact that it's on a screen much bigger than a DS screen. Speaking of which, I'm getting like hard nostalgia for that system all of a sudden. I'm kind of like want one after I lost all my previous ones. I sold my main one. I replaced it because I thought the battery was breaking when it actually wasn't. I got a replacement. Then I got a light, which broke. And then I got another light to replace that, which I eventually sold for my 3DS. And then my 3DS I gave to my brother. I got a new 3DS. I got a 3DS XL. That barely works anymore. The original 3DS barely works anymore. And now I have a new 2DS XL to replace it. So part of me, I never owned a DSi, and that's kind of upsetting because I really like the design of the DSi, especially the XL. I thought it was really cool. There we go. Ice and douse, okay. Oh god, I've been raid. Ow. It is like a stark contrast how nice the graphics look out of battle versus in battle. Ether. This spirit embodies the winds at the highest altitudes and is found to the west of Macaw. Allies find Ether's presence calming, even in the midst of battle. Focus will to restore PP. Phone is like going into sleep mode too quickly here. Bark. Yes, I know, you don't have to pop that up every time I go idle for a few seconds. Alright, it's in Passage Mountain Climb, but I can't get that yet. I don't know why they would list it right there. See, that's Macaw up there. Northeast Caucho, southwest Ayuthe, northwest Passage. Hobblegob. There's a Yuthe. Ooh, I have Ragnarok now. This is an awesome spell from the original trilogy. Most of these spells are from the original trilogy. There's a few new ones. Original trilogy, original Game Boy, whatever. You know what I mean. This is the part of the original trilogy. Yes. That upgrades to Odyssey later. Ooh, he learned a new move, Trench. I don't know where I'm supposed to head, Caucho or whatever it's called. Ayuthe. I feel like there's something hidden here, but I don't see anything on the Jin Guide that mentions it. Huh. Yeah, it really doesn't seem like there's anything down here. Like, you would think there'd be something hidden here, but no. I like how quickly this game moves, too, during battle. Despite this animations, that it doesn't drag. One of the reasons I never finished Chrono Cross, I felt that game was way too slow. Most soldiers are Caucho farmers, since real warriors are pretty rare. So I'm glad we haven't battled them yet. Maybe more orders will arrive soon, but hopefully not. Are you from Ayutthaya? That doesn't surprise me. When the army arrived, no one from Ayutthaya was there, as if a magician made them all vanish. Maybe more orders will arrive soon and give us something to do. I don't really care either way, but you can't enter right now. In fact, you might be at risk staying here. We're waiting more orders for our siege of Ayutthaya. Oh, these are Caucho troops. Antidote. If you've come to enjoy a good war, you're going to be disappointed. The Ayutthaya are nowhere to be found, so we're just standing around waiting for additional orders. Let's gank these herbs real quick. We're busy taking over this place. I can't let you pass unless you have some business here. So visit Caucho if you want to get into the army business. King Woe's the man with the master plan. King Woe, the military-minded ruler, founded the new country of Caucho in the name of his home empire, Sana. He spends his days plotting how to take over more of AJ, and has mysteriously built his palace upon ancient ruins. Ugh! Don't surprise me like that! You don't belong in Ayutthaya. Not here, not now. Sorry for being jumpy. I'm just a farmer from Caucho helping with this whole occupation thing. I'm hoping to get off. I'm hoping I get off duty before more orders arrive from Caucho. Alright, well, we ain't going any further here. Ayutthaya is not the way. Team is unsleepable. They're wide awake. Grief learned Restore. What does that do? Cures all temporary status ailments. Oh, okay. So it cures being haunted. Well, no, haunted I think lasts after battle. So yeah, the continent of Angara has grown quite a bit since Golden Sun 1. I think the implication is that because the world of Weyard is flat. So I think the implication is that, after the Golden Sun event happened, the Earth started appearing, and the world kind of started expanding outward. And you'll notice later that even though this game only takes place in Angara, there's like multiple layers to it. So it seems like the world is growing. And because of that, a bunch of locations are actually relocated. Like, places that you've been to before are in different spots now. And you do go to a few areas from the first two games. Or at least the first two games, yeah. Because you didn't go to Champa in Golden Sun 1. It was on the edge of Angara, outside of the mountain range. In this game, you do go to it. Quake Sphere. It is worth doing targets that hit like 4 or 5 people, because then it's stronger in the middle. Like the more targets it hit, the more damage it's going to do in the middle. Karis learned Healthy Wind. Restore around 80 HP to all allies. Costs only 3 more. That's actually really good. As opposed to Cure Well, which only does about double what Cure does, but costs more than double. Worth it? I think not. So yeah, Wednesday I kind of rage quit out of Hyrule Warriors. That wasn't good to me. I was pretty peeved at the end. I have gone, I mentioned this earlier, I did go and finish all the missions on normal that I could do, as well as the story mission that I accidentally did on easy on stream. So everything's all caught up now. I've leveled everyone up, got better weapons for them, and I won't make the same choices next time. Apparently that chapter in general is just the hardest one, or one of the hardest ones, so hopefully on Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday, probably Wednesday, because I'll probably play Puyo on Tuesday and skip streaming tomorrow. I'll hopefully get through it, and then one more chapter, and then one more stream to finish up the story in that on Friday, and then probably one more stream of it in general afterwards. And then Puyo will probably be done by the end of this week too, given how I'm progressing through the story, and then I'll focus on Golden Sun. Anyway, we're here in Caucho. Look, there's a Djinn. Sorry, I'm just feeling too tired to do much of anything except look at fish. There's another Djinn over there. It's a little quiet here in Caucho since our army is off on a mission in AJ right now. Most merchants and farmers are part of the army, so it's like a ghost town. Wah, 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 wah. Hello? Okay, there we go. China dress? Sanin dress. Sanendorf. Food, body, robe, used to reduce enemy attack. So if you use items like, if you use equipment, it has effects, but then it can break the equipment, and that's why you have to get it fixed. This is not as good as what she has already. The elven shirt is better, so we'll probably just sell that. It is quite a while until I get the next, female party member. So that will undoubtedly be outdated by then. Huh. There's definitely a door there. You could see it on the map, and you could see it, like, kind of in the outline of that rock. But yeah, what else? I mentioned it before, and obviously everyone knows it, Sephiroth being added to Smash. That'll probably result in a Smash stream soon. I did not think we were going to get a character this month. I was surprised that we got the announcement that there was going to be one, like, the morning of the Game Awards. Which, by the way, Game Awards, they sucked. They were terrible. Fucking Last of Us does not deserve the amount of praise it gets, considering the conditions it was made under. And also, the game itself's not that great, apparently. It's, like, okay. But yeah, Sephiroth. I did not expect another Final Fantasy VII character. I don't think anyone did, really. I know the joke is that, like, now that this means we'll finally have more than 2 Final Fantasy songs in Smash. I think we are, because Sakurai always makes a big deal of the DLC characters and the music they come with. Even Hero, who had the least, and was also a Square Enix character, came with 8 songs. So, hopefully we'll at least get, like, a nice handful of them that could then be used on Midgar, as well as, I'm assuming the stage is going to be called Northern Crater, but it looks like it takes place in multiple spots, so Might be a traveling stage. A gentle soul makes for a loving husband. That's the secret to our happy home. I haven't seen my dad in a while. He's a farmer that got roped into marching on a youth day. He could barely handle a sword, but you should see what he could do with the plow. I saw my dad trying to get a handle on using weapons, but he couldn't hurt a fly. That's some well-crafted furniture. It's a tofu dish that's so hot it burns tongues from across the room. Personally, I like the fact that Sephiroth is in Smash. I think he's a great choice for a character. I know people are probably upset because it's another swordsman, another RPG character, another Square character, another FF7. And yeah, I get the FF7 character thing, I totally get, just because there were so many other Final Fantasies they could have chosen, but I don't mind. I'm not a big... I don't get really upset over character choices as much as I do how they play. If they play uniquely, then I'm not going to care. And all the DLCs played uniquely, so there you go. What was the point of this? Oh. Gimme. Gimme the Ginny. Steel joined you. It's set to Matthew. This love spirit is first found in Kaocho. Steel's attack is a vitality-stealing kiss that leaves enemies wanting more. Oh god, it's a real doll. And then they give you a convenient out to the world map there, so you don't have to walk all the way around again. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think I like that very much. Okay. Nice. Pocket change. A long history of Sana. Though the ambitious Emperor Ko founded Sana, the people of Sana no longer have a longer history, This country makes up the eastern part of the AJ region. It used to be a fearsome and aggressive colonial power. Sorry about that. 1 second. Okay. Sorry, just want to make sure the sound was coming through, because it didn't sound like it was. Okay, ignore that. Emperor Ko, this warmongering tyrant, was once Emperor of Sana, and known as the Dread Emperor for his aggressive expansionism. On his death, the civil war in Sana eventually crowned Unen as the new emperor, bringing much-needed peace to the region. Legend says that the Sanins have lived even as far back as ancient times, when they allied with ancient peoples. The Sanin people have spread from their homeland, Sana, through much of Angara, including Kaocho and Morgul. Their homeland has been both an aggressor and a peacekeeper throughout the history of Angara. In fact, the endless wall that stretches across part of Angara is said to have been built in this golden age. This massive ancient edifice divides AJ and Morgul. Its origin and purpose are largely unknown. God, nice glitchy texture there. Also, I find it funny that there's this massive wall in Angara that didn't exist in Golden Sun 1 and 2, but now it's just been there the whole time. Eternal Life in Angara, Volume 1. The former Sanin ruler, Emperor Ko, sought the secret to eternal life before he met his end. King Wo, always trying to live up to Ko's example, now seeks the same, for why shouldn't military geniuses live forever? It is said that a ruler named Bobby, who once ruled the city called Tobi, knew the secret of eternal life, but took it to his grave. Guess it wasn't so eternal then, huh? It's a hanging scroll covered in writing. It's a beautiful hanging scroll. The might of Ku Tsung and Ku Embra. The generals in Woe's army are respected by those of Caucho, even Sana itself. Ku Tsung, this older of the two Caucho generals, is renowned for his combat skills. He's a master of the Dragon Spark attack. Ku Tsung is fairly reasonable, unlike his co-general and brother, Ku Embra. The younger of the two generals is celebrated for his swordsmanship. He's a master of the Zealous Fury attack. Embra is brash and temperamental, unlike his co-general and brother, Ku Tsung. The might of Ku Tsung and Ku Embra, the generals in the Woe army... Oh, wait. Okay. They are both terrifying in battle, but some say their actual field tactics are lacking. But who would dare sully their honor? Eternal Life in Angara, Volume 2. In the southeast part of Angara was once a pilgrimage site known as Fuchin Temple. Its master monk was Nyunpa, and it was said he learned the secret to eternal life. Unfortunately, it involved enlightenment. But the deeply insightful people of Caucho rejected such silliness, and so King Woe seeks elsewhere for eternal life. Just gotta learn, bro. Gotta get them smarts. The oven is immaculate. It must not be used much. When the Emperor of Senna passed away, King Mo Howard, King Woe marched back to our homeland to try seize command. He failed to take it from Emperor Unan. Oh, how Emperor Ko must be looking down upon King Woe with disappointment. A wise and educated monarch rules Sana from the capital of Tanfan. He succeeded the warlike Emperor Ko after a bloody civil war, uniting and bringing peace to his war-torn country. Caucho was forged in war. Most of our people have left our homeland Sana to come here and fight as soldiers, but many people miss life in Sana. Ooh, a nut. The oven is well maintained, very clean. I can't understand King Woe failing to take over the Empire. How could he lose to a measly scholar like Unan? King Woe was one of 2 men in the line to become the Emperor of our Senan homeland. After Emperor Ko expired, Woe expected to take over his war empire, but Unan took it over instead. A scholar of all people! Why not? Ooh, mint. I mean, this is these people leave their houses open so I could ransack them. Oh, I'm actually out of room. Raises agility permanently. These can all be tossed. This is sweet and sour pork that absolutely shimmers with pineapple sweetness. What a delight. Oh, my dear, would you please take a gift to my grandchild in Senna? Okay, here's the gift, and I've tucked a letter inside of it for my grandchild. I have complete faith in you, my dear. Grandmother's gift. A gift for a woman in Santa. I'm gonna be holding on to that for a while. Look at that dude in the back. Look at him. Look at him go. Could you please find my grandchild and give her my parcel? Please, I'm relying on your kindness. Some money. A ways back, King Woe and Emperor Unan of Sana, our original homeland, were at each other's throats. That was when tragedy struck in our colonies, in Morgul, which is in the northern half of the continent, if you didn't know. The Emperor was too busy dealing with King Woe, so we didn't have time to put down a revolution that flared up in Morgul. Any Senans living in Morgul had to run for their lives. That's how the Empire lost control of Morgul. Tea house closed. This is a soup of the lightest broth and crunchy noodles. A perfect combination. Have you come to be soldiers? Why not? If you please King Woe, we can make you into generals. You'd be rich, I tell you. Too bad, because the Gaucho army is afield right now. You can't join while it's gone. Then why ask if I'm here for that? Yeah, let's sleep it off. I don't think I really needed to, but whatever. I hope you've slept well. Have a nice trip. The Vow of Woe. After King Woe was denied his rightful place as Emperor of Sana, he made a vow to put things right. He swore to make Gaucho into a great military nation that Sana once was, and then march upon our homeland. Thus King Woe will one day become Emperor Woe, and Sana will ultimately be the center of civilized world once more. The shame of Sana. When Emperor Ko was in control of Sana, all neighboring countries quivered in fear of him. But when Ko passed away and was replaced by Emperor Unan, Sana reversed course. Now it is a policy of peace. While citizens gained democracy, they also lost much territory. Oh no, how awful. So King Woe has us at war again? Last time when he sent soldiers to Passage, they came back in bad shape. King Woe, the founder of Gaucho, came from our homeland of Sana. He brought us here with him. The shops at Sana are said to be better than this one, but I think there's great stuff in here. Screams treasure right there. Nope. Woe wants to take over Passage and Ayuthe. King Woe is more than hungry for victory. He's voracious. Isn't there a shorter word for voracious? Blessed Ankh. Hell yeah, let's Ankh it up, buddy. No, there isn't. Okay, understood. Oh, this has 2 unleashes. Look, don't kink shame King Woe. He knows what he's into. Can't sell. Good. Yeah, I do not need this. You could have that. I could sell the gate card? Oh wait, I don't really need it anymore, do I? I can't go back there ever again. I technically don't need these anymore either. I did read them already as well. I think. Here's all temporary status ailments. We don't really need that anymore. Let's get him out of here. Oh, we got some upgrades here. 2 broadswords, please. Here, take my Themis axe. I don't need it anymore. Bronze shield. Okay, everyone needs the helm, and 2 people need the gloves. Look at that. Still have over 2,000 coins after all that. Sana is known for its herbal medicine. This place is run by a Sanan herbalist, so I came to take a look. I'd like to start up a shop like this, so I came on a little spy mission. Don't tell the herbalist, though. The herbalist. The Gaucho army has 2 generals, Ku Tsung and Ku Embra. They're our most fearsome warriors. Oh, she has the gate card. Water of Life. Don't want to buy that. Psy Crystal. Not worth spending 1,500 on it now. Maybe later. Let me save, because it's been almost an hour. Oh, it's been over an hour, excuse me. Okay, that Jinn at the bottom of the map I can't get right now. I have to wait until the tea house is open here. King Woe doesn't want war. He wants peace, and he'll smash any country that disagrees. King Woe wants adepts. He'll do anything to get his hands. Hey! Thank you for the raid, Leaf. I appreciate that. King Woe wants adepts. He'll do anything he can to get his hands on warriors who could use synergy, but he can't find any. How y'all doing tonight? Halt! Always appreciated. Thanks, guys. Are you adepts? Just started Bug Fables. It's a treat. It's Soul Time Synergy. Yes. I have not played Bug Fables. I've heard it's pretty good. Our apologies. We didn't know you lot were the adepts we're expecting today. Head inside, please. King Woe is waiting. Anything over here? Why would you let me walk over there? Whoa, okay, that got... Oh, it's a little glitchy. Adepts in the ancient times. The modern adepts appear to be the key to understanding the ancient ruins. For the adepts are descendants of the Janae, the ancient people who built the civilization that fell into ruin. In ancient times, those who could use synergy were known as the Janae. With their powers and their understanding of alchemy, the Janae created a great civilization, which all faded when alchemy proved too dangerous for the ancient world. Furthermore, as alchemy returns to the world, we run the risk of being dominated by the adepts once more. Caucho Military Dispatch 2. Ayutthaya has always been regarded as a troublesome country. They won't surrender their bountiful soil and rich palaces without a fight. It won't be an easy battle. Never played any Golden Sun before. And my mouse is stuck. Never played any Golden Sun before. How's it been? It's good. This is definitely the weakest entry of the series, but it's still fun. I would argue that all 3 of the games are really good. It's just that the last one's not that great. I only played the original Golden Sun. I've watched Let's Plays of others, and Dark Dawn seems particularly neat. It is really interesting, and it's fun. It's pretty easy in comparison to the other 2 games, but it has its charms. However, far from waving the white flag, they launched a counteroffensive. Shamefully, we lost the battle. Ruins are sacred places, yet King Woe dared to build this palace upon one. I'm worried that we'll all suffer the consequences. The labyrinth down those stairs was built by the ancient ancestors of Ayutthaya. We can't figure out how to penetrate its mysteries. When we were on friendly terms with Ayutthaya, we asked for any insights. They refused to part with their secrets. That must be the next major dungeon. I've honestly forgot a lot of this game. I've played Golden Sun 1 and 2, like, I would say maybe 3 or 4 times over, including once on stream 4 years ago. But Dark Dawn I only played when it first came out, and then I never touched it again, because I was upset with how the game ended. That's some well-crafted furniture. Okay, so good I had to check it twice. When King Woe came here from Sana to found Caucho, our Emperor Ko was still alive. Back in those days, our old home was still the strongest country in Angara. Just as this new palace was finished, Emperor Ko died. Ever since then, Sana has become cowardly and weak. That's weird. Thank you for following. I don't know why that, alert didn't go off. Did it break again? Seriously? I have it here. That's weird. The raid alert worked. And I had someone follow me 2 hours ago and it worked. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, it just took a minute. I saw the activity feed. You like the animation of the chubby bird in the bottom corner? Yes, that is my, that's my Sona. It was drawn by Toxicow on Twitter. Toxic OOW. He's a fun artist. He does a lot of neat animations and stuff. Went there already, went up there already. Okay. So you must be the adepts that we're expecting today. It's time for your audience with the king. The Caucho army is too weak to fully conquer Ayutthaya. Our soldiers will come home soon enough with their tails between their legs. Caucho's best generals are there, but they can only do so much when their soldiers are mostly farmers. I see that you're all adepts. Let me welcome you with a piece of wisdom. Absolute conquest takes patience. Once we've seized the southern shores of AJ, maybe we'll rename the entire region after King Woe. I came here from Sana when I heard all about the ancient treasures in the labyrinth below this palace. But I haven't laid eyes on a single one, and neither has anyone else. It's not that people return empty-handed from the labyrinth, it's that they don't return at all. Well-crafted furniture. Beautiful hanging scroll. Beds, can't examine them. The door leads to the throne room. His Majesty King Woe has been awaiting inside for the arrival of adepts. King Woe awaits his new batch of adepts, but if that's not who you are, remove yourselves from his palace. My new adepts are late. You promised that they would be in Caucho by now. So I did, King Woe. They will arrive at any moment. His Majesty does not wait for any men, Chalice. This is impertinent. This woman brims with a beauty that's rarely seen among the people of Angara. Chalice has become a trusted advisor in King Woe's court, though it seems that her strange wealth of information is what has caught the Caucho ruler's attention. They were freaking out. Kanshuko was correct, Chalice, so these adepts had better be worth my precious time. The cabinet minister in King Woe's court oversees Caucho's military efforts in Passage and Ayutthaya. Kanshuko has grown frustrated by the failures of his troops, and he fears King Woe's growing displeasure. Excuse me. I think they're talking about us. The King Woe guy's a real creep. But what does he want with us? If I may speak, my king, the adepts will be worth their weight in gold if they can breach the Ouroboros. This legendary labyrinth is said to be quite serpentine, ensnaring those who dare to enter its twists and turns. That's what Chalice has promised us, Mesa, but I still don't know why we trust this foreigner. This woman is the assistant to King Woe's advisor. In practice, however, Mesa is the one who keeps the King Woe's court on course. Her shrewd insights have earned her a permanent place next to his throne. My dear Kanshuko, I know far more than you ever will. How dare you! Spare me, Kanshuko, and do try to look impressive. We have guests. Finally, my adepts have arrived. What? And now you summon your own guards, Chalice? You go too far. Your personal soldiers are quite unusual, Chalice. He looks like one of the soldiers who attacked us below Kanpa ruins. Like one of Blados's men. Get away from us, villain. Mario 64 walk noise. Well done, men. Now, out of my sight. Look at that panel we're standing on. That's certainly not suspicious. Now, Chalice, tell me exactly who our little visitors are. Like, what is, like, what's this down here? What's this crack next to Reef's body? Why is that like that? Let me do the honors, Your Majesty. These are adepts. You bumbling toady, Kanshuko. You really know nothing at all. These are quite exceptional adepts. So you're Chalice. With a name like that, you've got to be working with that cocky Blados. Ah, you know of Blados, then you are my adepts. Yeah, like that Chalice lady said, we're, exceptional adepts. Don't say another word, Tyrell. Ah, so your name is Tyrell, is it? Sure, whatever. And this is Matthew. He's our leader. What scrumptious information. Matthew and Tyrell. Two names I won't forget. Now that we've confirmed you truly are my adepts, I hope you're everything I've been promised. They certainly are, Your Majesty. These adepts have great power to fulfill your greatest ambitions. I said great twice there. I'm like that character from the new season of Fire Force. But which will it be first? To get the relic from the Ouroboros, or to help your army in Ayutthaya? Ah, the relic or military victory. I've waited so long for both that I could barely decide. The Ouroboros, an army in Ayutthaya. They think we're here to help them with something. They're idiots if they think that, right, Matthew? Yeah, I'm furious too. Who do these guys think they are demanding our help? They don't realize what an honor it is to serve the great King Woe. I think they're even refusing you. Refuse? No, these adepts won't be able to resist once they hear of the powerful artifact in the Ouroboros. Again, British spelling. You clearly aren't paying attention, Chalice. That sounded like a no to me. Have you adepts heard of a relic found in the Ouroboros below? It's a mask of considerable power and importance. I wonder what they're talking about. So have I enticed you? Oh, I don't believe that for a moment. You must be a little curious. So I have enticed you. Of course, for clever adepts are always seeking out such things, are they not? But if you get your hands on that mask, it's all mine. If we get that mask, we're going to hang on to it. Don't even consider disobeying me, adepts. I must have that relic. It is the key to the power that can help me wage war like never before. Your Highness, may I suggest that we send the adepts to Ayutthaya first? The mask may take too much time. Our generals are in need of urgent assistance to complete our siege of the castle. These adepts could tip the scales in Caltro's favor. Ayutthaya will finally fall. I give this plan my seal of approval. Write it up, then give the letter to that Matthew person right there. The letter is quickly written and completed. King Woe, if I may beg you to listen to the letter to ensure it lives up to the measure of your majesty. Yes, yes, get on with it then. To Kutsung, General of the Caltro Army, the courier of this letter, Matthew, has pledged his loyalty to our royal cause. This loyal servant and his companions have sworn to use their synergy to help you crush Ayutthaya, Woe, King of Caltro. Well, I think annihilate Ayutthaya would have captured my sentiment better, but yes, the letter is fine. Hold on a second. We're not just going to be used like this, are we? Yeah, this is a sad situation, alright. He can count us out. We're not going to be pawns in his war. How dare you? Who are you fleas to question me, the will of Caltro? Are you telling me you adepts refuse to fetch my mask and serve as the generals in Ayutthaya? Perhaps I was wrong, Your Majesty. Maybe these adepts won't bend their knee to Caltro after all. They don't realize that pledging loyalty to the great King Woe is an honor. And they clearly don't know what sort of rebellion earns you and they clearly don't know what that sort of rebellion earns you around here. So, adepts, you want to explore the Ouroboros, to steal its relic for yourselves, perhaps? Let's oblige them, Your Highness. Ah, Chalice, you are a viper. Yes, I agree. Let's get them to the Ouroboros post-haste. Maybe if we just move a couple squares back, first, before then. Guys, let's take off before this gets any weirder. Yes, maybe we could find our way to the Ouroboros ourselves. I have a bad feeling about this. What are they going to do, summon the guards? They're about to pull something, that's for sure. What do you intend to do with us? Dispose of you like rubbish! Rubbish? Your Majesty, can't we talk this through? Shouldn't we run or something? The time for talk is over. You have vexed King Woe. Now, Your Highness. Away with them! Your Majesty, that rabble will trouble you no more. Now we have to find a new batch of adepts to help us breach the Ouroboros. Oh, how much longer must I wait now? What say you, Chalice? In truth, I haven't given up on them, King Woe. What do you mean, Chalice? True adepts have a way of proving their worth, Khonshuku. What? Yeah, they just dropped. And I think those adepts are diamonds in the rough. If they survive the fall, they'll soon learn that they can't truly enter the Ouroboros. Not yet, anyway. Serving you in Ayutthaya would have polished them up Excuse me. That would give them just the strength they need. I suspect that isn't the last we'll see of those adepts. They'll come back to Caucho when they're ready, now that they know what's in the Ouroboros. Bong, bong. Did I hear rough? Ow. Look at that. That pit drops you right below. Like, if you slip between those cracks, you're dead. Where are we? I would guess that we're somewhere within the Ouroboros labyrinth. My aching back. Did you hear rough? I don't know. Did you? Wait, what? Why did they put us down here anyway? We made it clear that we're not about to hand over any relics to them. Maybe they thought that we wouldn't survive the fall. How are they still alive? I don't know. There's oddly enough no falling damage in Golden Sun, even though it's an RPG. People fall down... In the first game, at the end of the first game, you climb this giant lighthouse, and one of the characters jumps off the top of it and survives the fall. But if they're desperate to get that mask, why would they risk it? I bet they're playing a dirty trick on us. Excuse me there, had to mute myself for a second. They probably hope to trap us here with no way to get the relic. And no way to escape either. Well, we're not going to rot here. Let's find our way out of this trap. The Ouroboros, 3rd floor. I am not a fan of this dungeon theme, and you hear it a lot. Okay. I will say that this isn't one downside to this game. These animations take forever to go away, even if you can't use them. Oh, they can be moved. There you go. You see, you added voice acting in my tags. Yeah, I try to add that for any game that has dialogue but no voices. It's decent practice, though I wouldn't bank my abilities on what I could do during live streams. I'm not a certain other member of Wild Abandon, whom I look up to greatly. Caucho, really? We're out? There's really nothing else we could do down here, huh? Oh, I'm over here now. Yo, did it, Goku. Though I am going to do something important involving streaming and my voice in a few weeks. I'm going to be one of the donation hosts at AGDQ in January. Specifically Friday morning from like 5 a.m. till like 7:30. Tentatively. Halt! Who goes there? No one may enter. Be on your way. King Woe has let strict orders not to let anyone to the palace. Well, what do we do now? Go to Passage... Wait, no. That's what it was before. There we go. Leave Caucho in search of clues. The Ouroboros holds a mysterious soul mask. We have no way deeper inside. There must be clues elsewhere. You do possess King Woe's letter to his generals in the Yuthe. Alright. It's like a preview of the dungeon. To visit Wait, I don't have Caucho? Oh, it probably got updated, that's why. This powerful nation was founded by King Woe, who covets the treasures of AJ region and wages war against Passage and Ayuthe. Is that a letter from Caucho Palace? It's a letter from the palace. It must be from the king. From the looks of it, King Woe has sent you. So you're here to aid our assault in the Ayuthe? Gonna lurk for a bit. I welcome the company regardless, so thank you. Well then, friends, we need good warriors to help Caucho smash Ayuthe. Come on in. Our generals Kutsung and Kuemura are across the pond. The letter says to see them. Yikes. I mean, lucky you. You'd better get that letter to the generals fast. Trying to cross the pond? There's no raftsman here to paddle you to the other side. Maybe you could catch a strong breeze to bring you over. That or the hot air from one of King Woe's proclamations. Oh, you have a letter from the king. Seriously, you need to get that to the generals on the other side. We got communication from the palace? That's too important for my eyes. Got a letter from King Woe. Show that to the main guards and deliver it to the generals. Communication from the palace. Yikes, that's not for my eyes. Whoosh. Cookie. Huh. Okay. Just circle around here. I don't mind conquering a country for King Woe, but some of the orders that he sends makes him sound like a bully. You got a big deal letter from Caucho Palace, then you must be a big deal too. Many of my fellow soldiers think that Ayuthe fled their city when we invaded, but I'm not so sure that's true. I have the feeling that we're being watched, so I wonder what further orders from Caucho will say. Letter from King Woe. Wonder if he knows what's truly going on here. The Ayuthe people ran scared. They abandoned their city. Now we await new orders from Caucho. You've got a secret strategy for our attack on Ayuthe in that letter, haven't you? Get it to the generals. I push this over there, then I get stuck on that, and it's not gonna result in anything. Let me check the Jin guide. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. After the event, okay. I have to wait for the. I can't get. I gotta wait until I can get to those other treasure chests out there. The generals are playing their strategy right now. Only those on urgent business can see them. Follow me. I overheard the generals inside talking about problems with their plans to take over Ayuthe. They're in a nasty mood waiting for letters from King Woe. Dicks. Excuse me, generals. We're busy right now. We must purge the evil spirits. Please, generals, we have visitors from Macaw. These people possess a letter from King Woe. They don't look like Macaw warriors. Never mind, show me the letter then. Oh, I actually have to do it myself, huh? Okay. Quickly now, show General Kutsung your letter. Why are you wasting my time when General Kutsung asks for that letter? Can you follow orders? General Kutsung said that he wants to read that. You've got a letter from King Woe? Give it to me. Yes, I see. I can't read. What does it say, General Kutsung? King Woe writes that Matthew here has come with his companions to help us with their synergy. Ha! You puny people! Help us with synergy? I'll believe that when I see it. They look like a pack of pups, not powerful adepts. But this letter is from King Woe. His Majesty cannot be wrong. In that case, I wonder why His Royal Highness has sent them here. His letter promises that they will help us with our assault on Ayuthe. The king is infallible, but these worms, they're not worth my attention. I need veteran warriors. Excuse me, generals, may I go back to my post outside? Hold your tongue, soldier. We'll dismiss you when we're good and ready. Now, General Kuembra, I know of the task we can put to these adepts. They won't be I won't have adepts underfoot. They'll only trip up our plans to push deeper into the castle. But we can't move deeper until the evil spirits here are exorcised. These adepts can do that, I'm sure. Yes, now that's a good idea, General Kutsung. This temple is plagued by all manner of fiends. Clean out the place. We'll be waiting outside while you do the dirty work. Tell us when you're finished. Ha! To victory. Onward. I need water after that one. Good luck with that. I'll just be outside where it's less haunted. I heard laughing when we arrived, but it's gone now. Oh, sorry, I forgot the accent. Let's watch out for those evil spirits. We wouldn't want them sneaking up on us. Hey, evil spirits, hello? Ayuthe is somewhat of a mystery at the moment, excuse me. But you know, a journey up to the mountains to Passage might yield more answers. The leaders of Passage and Ayuthe do know each other, and their people have shared ancestry. I believe that we should trek to Passage to see what more we can find. Looks like a stone gate, but there's no possible way through. Oh, there's actual fights here. There's 5 enemies. Cool. Oh god, so now it's lagging. Yeah, it's dropping down to 50 FPS. I wish I could just set this game to 30 so that wouldn't do that. Because this game really does not need to be in 60. I don't think this this particular Nintendo DS has the ability to limit frame rates, though. Wrong. I don't remember having to do this much running around at this point. Like, I thought I would just go to a Youth and do the plot point here. Fighting the same enemies we were fighting before. Oh, that hits everyone! That wasn't how it worked in Golden Sun 1. I don't remember this part at all. I remember this area, I just don't remember the specific, like, part of it. Ugh. The stone face upon this ancient tree has its eyes closed, as if waiting to be woken up. I don't think we have anything to do with this right now. We can't go any further up in Passage, though. No doubt there are some creepy spirits around here. Get rid of them, please. Our generals went off somewhere. They said they'll return when the evil that plagues this place is gone. Very weird, like this whole part of the game is kind of like previews. You get a preview of the Ouroboros dungeon, you get a preview of a Yute, now you gotta go back and do more stuff. You get a preview of the Passage mountain climb. This is a very Mercury Lighthouse-ish setup to it. I guess let's go to Passage mountain climb. Oh, that growth there is permanent. Really, we can't get away. We're like over leveled right now. Wait a minute. Yeah, I need to get up Passage mountain climb. I'm a bit confused here. I think I see how this works. Excuse me. Oh, I didn't even notice I could walk over here. Wow. I could have gone to Passage from the very beginning, couldn't I? Hey, Legion. Thanks for the raid. Hey, everyone. How y'all doing? I need me a sippy of water. Hello, hello. How are you all doing tonight? What were you streaming? Welcome to our Zol mine. We gather all the floating Zol stones that we could find. Thanks. I appreciate the endorsement. I'm a good bean. I'm a good bean bird. Oh, you're streaming Cyberpunk. Nice. Nice. This unique mineral, also called the floating stone, floats in the air when touched by the wind. Send them higher onto the updrafts here. Zol floats on the wind, you know. Might pick up stream later again. Nice. I'm probably going to stream for another hour and 20 or so. Hour and 10. Well, it's almost 2, so probably just an hour and 10. And then pick it up on Tuesday. I've actually got a lot of auditions to get through tomorrow, so I might not stream. I did 2 streams today, though, because I did one prior to midnight, and I did one now. Thank you. The ancients used wind synergy or something to get those Zol stones off the ground. Wish I could do that. This place is the pits. The path back to town is often blocked off because of the strong gusts of wind. Ow. Sounds like the Mega Man bass things. When you step on them, go, ooh. Just it's 24 degrees right now Celsius at 8 p.m. It's friggin' hot, 75 degrees. We're at 8 p.m. and it's 2 here. Wait a minute, where do you live? Hawaii? I was gonna, because wait a minute, I'm thinking about it, and PST, New Zealand. Oh, nice. I don't think I ever asked that before. I'm like, wait, how far away is that? You're a Kiwi. Okay, what am I doing here? In the land down under the land down under. Neat. Okay. So that's a thing. Let me get over there. Hey, wait. Okay. Blow mace. I'm sure that's weaker than what I have now, just because I went to an area past where I am. Raises his attack to 126. Raises his attack to 141. Alright, actually it's better. Let's give it to Tyrell. Right across the gap, because that's how gravity works. Okay, getting stuck. That's good. Is that another Earth Djinn? Oh, I was hoping for Mercury to even it out. How do I play games again? How do I play games again? Is it like an emulator? Yes. For DS games, I'm using Melon DS. Like the fruit, M-E-L-O-N. It doesn't have a lot of options, but it runs a lot smoother than Desmune. This game does not run on Desmune at all. It lags so badly. But even on this, it's dropping down to like 50 out of 60 frames. And I wish there was just a frame limiter that lets me limit it to like 30, because this game does not need to be in 60 to look good. Because I mean, that's as good as this gets, and it's very blurry. That's just for this game. For Switch games, I have an Elgato, what is it? Elgato HD 60S for my Switch. And if that Mega Man Battle Network Gacha game ever gets announced, I'll probably buy an adapter to use that with my phone, so I can stream that game too. Gonna have a cold shower. You'll be back, maybe. Cool, cool. It's gotten quite cold over here, so only hot showers for me. My room gets very toasty though. It's not ventilated well. Also, I learned Nova. Nice. If you don't die from heat stroke. Bark. This tough spirit is first met on the Passage mountain climb. Bark's rough hide can protect allies like a shield. Oh, that's right. It is summer down there. Yeah, it's freezing cold winter up here. It's gonna... apparently we're getting like 18 inches of snow this week, and I'm just like... can we not, please? Oh, he's Cure and Froth, currently. But he loses he gains stats by not having that on. I'll just leave that on and leave him as a Seer for now. That when I was 3, and I was in... You've had one white Christmas in your life, and that was when it was 3 and you were in Austria. I mean, it's been mixed here. It's usually... where I live in the U.S., it kind of just gets cold and gross and not always snowy, but when it snows, it usually snows bad. And I'm not a big fan of that, because I hate shoveling. Thankfully, we're all working from home right now, so I don't have to worry about it. Mountain trolls. I saved a whole lot of time by coming here last, completely by not figuring out that I could get past that little barrier. Because now I have to come to Passage. Huh. I have to push 2 blocks into there, and I can't because I need something to freeze this, probably, just get something to stick there. So I can only push that up, then I can push it right. Ooh. What are these things on the floor, though? Oh, this is, stuck here. Okay, so that's probably somewhere important in there. We're not ready to go in there yet. A Jinn. We've climbed all the way to the mountain town of Passage. I can't wait to see it again. Now then, follow me to the very spot that Kraden believed was the only way across the peaks. We're almost to the passage that Kraden believed would lead across the Kirin Mountains. Come on, it's just up ahead. We could come back to explore Passage later. Passage Cloud Platform. And remember in Golden Sun 2 when I had a flying ship that could go over every mountain in the game, which means it could theoretically have gone over this one? So this is the way across the Kirin Mountains. What? But we're so high in the clouds that there's nowhere else to go. Nonetheless, this is the spot that Kraden believed was the key to crossing over. That's impossible. We're at the very top of this mountain. How can we go anywhere from here except back down? If only we had a soar wing with us. But here's the crux of the matter. See the mountain across the sky? That's Craggy Peak. Kraden says that the ancient ancestors of us adepts lived there. This mountain was once home to the Neox. Their ancient but highly advanced civilization created many remarkable devices. They were known as the Janae. Our ancestors lived there and many other places across Wayard. Excuse me. The Janae that lived on that peak were known as the Neox, and they looked over part of the world. While the Janae ruled all civilization with their powers, those who lived on what is now called Craggy Peak were called the Neox. The Neox worked with the Exati. Keep getting all these new names that I don't know, to create the alchemy machines, but when alchemy vanished from the world, so did the Neox. Did Kraden think that the Neox used their powers to travel between here and there? Exactly. He thinks that they could create some sort of sky passage between the peaks. The Neox Janae worked with the ancient people of Passage to create a machine that could manipulate the clouds. Kraden said that such machines were based on alchemy principles. The one in Passage is called the Alchemy Forge. This ancient machine was built by the Neox and is powered by the element of fire. It is thought to have created wondrous things. Wondrous, excuse me. Well, show us the way to this machine, then. It's not so simple. Kraden couldn't figure out how to get Passage's alchemy forge running. But Kraden is a genius. How can we succeed when he couldn't? We'd have to figure it out. There's no other way to reach Belinsk and catch up with Kraden. Not to mention getting to Morgul to find that feather. If only we hadn't run into those fiends in the cave. Hey, Blados had a direct hand in forcing us into the south part of Angara. But why is that masked man tagging along with him? You know, that guy who wanted to know if we had the glyph book? He was eager to send us south to find you, Rief, not Kraden. From what I could gather, it seemed that Kraden suspected his true identity. I get the feeling that they know each other pretty well. That would explain why Kraden was so willing to part ways. Well, I can't imagine that they'd be friends, but old allies, perhaps? I trust Kraden, but I can't trust anything about that masked man or Blados. I don't see how this helps us get across the sky. Now, if only we did have a soar wing. Too bad that ours is broken. Of course, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. And all we have is an ancient legend about a machine that can make a cloud passage. Uh-huh. I wish I had pried more details from Kraden when we were last here. No use fretting about it now. I guess we'll just have to investigate this ourselves. That's the only way we'll get to that peak. So we have nothing to go on but a dusty Janae legend? That's all, just the Janae and a fabled cloud passage to Craggy Peak. What, have you had another thought, Rief? There was one more reason Kraden gave up getting onto that peak. He said we didn't have a wide enough variety of synergy to start the alchemy forge. Variety? What kinds of synergy did he think you needed? I don't know. Well, who else came with you? Who else came here with you and Kraden? Just my sister Noelle, and we're both water adepts. Then maybe we have a chance because we cover all types of elemental energy. You might be right. Then let's find that alchemy orge, Rief. I'm sure that we'll create that cloud passage to Craggy Peak in no time. I didn't notice it before. Things feel a little different from when I was last here. This place is brimming with synergy power now. Can't you feel it? I'm certain it wasn't like this before. Change is in the wind. I was in that game. I had a single line. The key to all of this is in Passage. Let's head back to town then. I'm sure we'll uncover the secret there. Did you miss anything? No, not really, just cutscenes. We have to figure out a way to start up an alchemy forge in this town. Meeting in session. Entry prohibited. We often speak of the ancient times here, young ones. The people of Passage owe much to their ancestors, the Exati, who were master craftsmen. This ancient people gained the respect of the world, even the Janae, with their great craftsmanship. Though the Exati had no synergy, their skill made them partners with the Janae in creating things that used elemental power. But the Exati owe just as much to a people with special powers called the Janae. You're gonna follow, but you have to go because you have a lot of work to do before tomorrow. Hey, no problem. Thank you for following, and thank you for coming back, coming by. My next stream's probably gonna be Tuesday, because I have a lot of voice acting auditions I have to do tomorrow night. Thank you. There was a third group of ancients we have heard of, known as the Fori. In ancient days, the Fori were those who had neither the synergy of the Janae nor the craftsmanship of the Exati. The word Fori itself even seems to be an ancient insult that meant simple people. They had neither special powers nor craftsmanship. Sadly, the world laughed at them. I feel for the Fori now, for we have lost so much of the old ways. This is the machine. Huh? What's all this? So this is the ancient machine reef? Indeed it is. Well, tell us everything. Don't keep us waiting. This is the alchemy forge. This doesn't look like any kind of forge I've ever seen. Forges are normally used to make weapons, and this one creates a cloud passage to Craggy Peak, huh? But the alchemy forge doesn't look like it works anymore. Perhaps it's broken? Circuitry. Hey, Tyrell, throw a fireball at the spot marked with the flame. I can't stand it when Karis bosses me around. Just fire it up. So, that's the secret. It's not broken, just disconnected. So, we think you could get it running again? I don't know, it's awfully big. Maybe you're onto something, Karis. So what do you think, Matthew? Can we get the alchemy forge started? Oh yeah. I completely agree. Completely, excuse me. That's a nice typo. I completely agree. This chamber is crammed with parts that we can manipulate. Alright then, so where do we start, Hotshot? Are those blocks the secret to reconnecting the forge, Karis? She gets like this. Just watch. I appreciate that, Legion, really. I am watching, but I don't understand what she's doing. The lines of power are broken. First, let's reconnect them throughout the chamber. Then we should fire up the forge again to see if the alchemy forge powers up. Yeah, what she said. We'll have this alchemy forge up and running again in no time. So let's reconnect all the power lines, then throw another fireball, okay? Uh-oh. push this forward, though. I'll have to come back to that. In the meantime, new town to explore. Long ago, the Exati were much respected by the Janae, who once ruled the world. Yet it saddens me to think that we, the descendants of the Exati, don't respect ourselves so much anymore. The Janae people have long gone. They were the original adepts with the purest abilities. We Passagians are descendants of the Exati, but we're mere shadows of their greatness. What the? Oh, look at this. There's like secret shit. Quality Zol. Chunk of high-grade Zol stone. Oh, that's a forging item. Did I read Sun Saga 2 yet? Also, where's Sun Saga 3? When am I getting that? I think I did read this. Hold on. Oh, I backed out of it. Whoops. Can I not, like, actually progress the text in it? Oh yeah, I know, because I talked about the, Mia and Alex were mentioned in the second one. I have read them. I could probably sell them now, honestly. The ancient Exati. Though the Janae ruled much of the ancient world, they had a special appreciation for the Exati. The Exati were renowned as master craftsmen, and the modern citizens of Passage and Ayute are their descendants. Though their peoples possess little or no synergy, their ancestors' powers of craftsmanship have been passed down. The ancient Janae. These ancients with the power of synergy were called the Janae. Theirs was a great and vast civilization. They understood the laws of alchemy and could use them to create things from their deepest imaginings. Nothing. We don't need to talk to you. Looking for our elder? Try the central hall where the alchemy forge is. Our ancestors here in Passage were like two peas in a pod with an ancient people called the Janae. The Passagians from back then were superb craftsmen, so the Janae were said to value their abilities. A lot of redundancy here. Simple soup of meat and mushrooms, hearty stuff for Passage's workers. Long ago, it was said that the clouds seemed to bridge the sky between here and Craggy Peak. It's a phenomenon that was called the Clouds of Passage. Boy, useless items to sell. Power bread. The Zol below the clouds. How can Zol look like rock but be lighter than air and even drifted like the clouds? In ancient times, Zol was mined from the earth all throughout AJ, and it was used in many wondrous constructions. The alchemy machines. The ancients were known to create immensely powerful machines that drew upon elemental energy. These machines were meant to benefit civilization and improve people's lives, but most alchemy machines no longer work. Those ancient people. What are they known as? Oh yes, they're called adepts. Our legends tell of a people called the Janae who lived atop a distant craggy peak. Raises max HP permanently. That's a reef. It's a barrel. This is a dessert spun from sugar that looks like clouds. So pretty, so sweet. Oh, it's cotton candy. This is a mountain-style dumpling filled with minced vegetables and a hot and sour sauce. What high-altitude tastiness. Yeah, money! No doubt about it, alchemy has returned to the world. I know it because the country of Ayute is doing well now. It's an Exati area like ours. The alchemy forge is the key to Passage's survival. Without it, we may just fade away. Look, you can see like all the power lines going through this area. The elders are angry that Caucho recently tried to take over Passage. Does Caucho want our alchemy forge or something? Hey, welcome back. Why would you have so many pots here? I can't check them all. Yes, I can. Got a nut. Quite a few people make the long trip up to Passage to see our amazing craftsmen. So do I, so I do a pretty brisk business. They're all ready for a good night's sleep after that climb. The alchemy forge is in the central hall. Is said to have been made by the ancient Janae of Craggy Peak. Got to go, but thanks for the stream. Hey, no problem. Thank you for following, and thank you for coming by. Where is that Sun Saga? Is it in here? Ancient languages. Sad to say, but very few people alive today know how to decipher any ancient languages. Words are often the only portal into long-dead worlds, so ancient tablets are like windows closed to us forever. Okay, but why? Oh, they sell sacred feathers. Oh, they have a potion here. Restore all HP. Alright, first things first. Getting rid of this. This. These. Not selling the Zol. We don't need the Sun Sagas. I already read them both, so we don't need them. Get rid of those, we don't need them. Get rid of that. And keep the cure in water. Give this to Reef, just so he's holding something. In fact, give this to him. I had to decide. Oh my god, I almost thought I wasted that. Give that to Reef as well. Give this to Reef too. We'll hold on to the key items. Sounds getting kind of crispy. Nut! Grandma said the alchemy forge here can melt down anything, then make it whole again. It's locked. We nabbed a bunch of Caucho soldiers when they last attacked, but our leader let them go. Passage has never had a tradition of locking people up, so guard duty is more like watching paint dry. Bramble seed, that's more money for me. One of the Zol miners once stepped off the edge of the platform above Passage. You heard the old stories about a cloud passage that went to Craggy Peak. Pretty dumb idea. That was the last we ever saw of them. And there's that other old story about some kind of man-beasts who live across the clouds. Sounds just as ridiculous if you ask me. This is where we store the floating rocks. We float the Zol stones up from the mine below. I looked for the cloud road that was once said to exist above Passage. What a waste of my time. There's nothing up there. See, it's weird to me because it's like, I don't know. It's only been 30 years. Some of these people should know about stuff that existed before then. Okay, let's peruse this. Oh, there's like a puzzle in here. I just noticed it. Here's the real reason there's a town all the way up here, because metal liquefies more easily at this altitude. Take it from an old metal worker like me, or discover it for yourself. If only we could get the alchemy forge working properly. My hammer is begging for action. Probably cast move on these. I don't know why this one's lit up. I think that might be a bug. Because when I move, you could see it kind of like blink a little bit. Let's see if I could fix this. These guys just let kids take bombs? Yeah, exactly. That's what they do. Okay. Wait a minute. Notice that wasn't colored in. Okay, circuit 1 finished. Oh, this is broken. Okay. What to do? What to do? Oh, that piece goes up there. Whoops. Who has tampered with the alchemy forge? Who are you intruders? Tell me at once! If you're with those terrible soldiers, don't bother trying to strong-arm me or my people. I may look old, but I'm a descendant of the ancients. Passage will never cave to you outsiders. We descendants of the Exati will band together, so I'll speak with the Ayuthe king, but not yours. Excuse me, sir, but we're not who you think we are, though you and I have met before. What are you looking at, Gramps? You did it, Goku. Gramps? I'm an elder of Passage. Call me by that or by my name, Bago. Anything else is disrespectful. Bago does not sound like a fun name. This elder of Passage, like all descendants of the ancient Exati, is a blacksmith of great craftsmanship. He is stubborn and short-tempered, but devoted to protecting the people, especially against incursions from Caucho. Now, who lit this fire? Was it you? One of you must be able to wield synergy. All of us can. We're adepts. Are you now? The adepts are descendants of the Janae, who reigned over the ancient world. I have heard the legends of the Janae, even the Neox of nearby Craggy Peak. I've also heard of the Exati, who were your ancestors of legend, right? How did you come to know all this? I'm a student of alchemy. I once visited here with the scholar Kraden. Kraden, you did say? Kraden, did you say? I've been streaming for almost 6 hours today. I'm getting pretty tired. Is Kraden with you now? No, I'm sorry to say that he's not. What a shame. He was an interesting old fellow. We parted ways too soon. Kraden couldn't figure out how to restart the forge, but we adepts have. You've certainly got the fires roaring. Ugh. You've certainly got the fires roaring again. The fires are blazing. Though the alchemy forge has been relit, the writing says that we need a critical part to control it. What does it say? What? It couldn't be clearer. It says what it says. You'll have to forgive our ignorance. It simply looks like a curious design to us. It all means something? My, for adepts it seems you know less than I'd expect. What is that? It's the mask. Soul mask. That's what it says. Soul mask? This ancient relic is said to be related to the alchemy forge in some way. Here, Goku, take this senzu bean. Anything else, Gramps? You got all the answers. Don't call me Gramps. It says that the machine can only be used once the soul mask is inserted here. And this mask is in the ancient Ouroboros labyrinth. That would be a problem given that the Ouroboros is below Caucho Palace. But are you sure we need that mask? The forge looks ready to go. If I get angry here. Yes, it's strange, but the ancients probably want to ensure that only the right people used it. Here's a foot hand. It's better than Fire Emblem Awakening, where they had hands and no feet. Where their feet were literally just stubs. I'm certain that's why we need the mask. I only wish it were here. Bago, what exactly is the soul mask? You seem to have heard of the Neox on distant Craggy Peak who watched over this part of Angara. The Neox were the Janae who helped build Harappa, Ayuthe, and I'd guess the Ouroboros? Yes, and Passage. So few alive know about the secrets of those ancient times. I am one of them, and I rarely share secrets with outsiders, but since you know Kraden, I'll tell you more. I know of an old prophecy about what would happen if alchemy was restored to the world. The Neox predicted the adepts would come to restore our fallen civilization to its former glory. I have long hoped that such a thing would come to pass, for life here gets harder by the year. Those of us in the southern part of Angara owe what little we have to the ancient Neox. We live our meager lives amid the broken pieces of their long-dead civilization. That's not a typo. Again, I'm playing the British version, European version, so some words are going to be spelled differently. Those people who lived on Craggy Peak really made that much stuff, huh? It's hard to imagine the Neox could have done so much, yet so little is known of them. The Neox sound fascinating. The Janae all over the ancient Wayard took their secrets with them. I know nothing of the Janae elsewhere, only of the Neox who guided the fate of our region from that peak. When the ancient Janae faded into history, so too did the Neox. I'm sure Kraden has told you the ancients cut off the world's connection to alchemy. Our parents told us that powerful synergy was too tempting for the ancient people of Wayard, so they placed devices across the world to seal it up. As we know now, stopping the flow of synergy had terrible consequences. Synergy is what sustains the world. Without it, everything began to decay. Our parents are the words. Ugh. It is getting really late. It is 5.5 hours in now. Our parents were the ones who saved the world, the warriors of Vale. Those are your parents? Kraden told me all about the quest that saved the world with the Golden Sun. Kraden does like to talk about it, doesn't he? He's quite proud of the role he played. A noble soul, that Kraden, and you are the children of the warriors of Vale. Remarkable. How does all this relate to the Soul Mask? Oh, yes. The Neox created the Alchemy Forge just for the craftsmen of Passage. But synergy was needed to keep the forge running. So when the Neox vanished, Passage couldn't use the Alchemy Forge anymore. What a clever young man you are. Without synergy, our forge stopped, and Passage began its long and slow decline through the ages. Can we speed this up? When the Golden Sun emerged 30 years ago, we thought our forge might restart, but it didn't. I guess we simply needed the right adepts to come along, but it's not yet at full strength, it seems. To get the Alchemy Forge fully functional, you don't need any more fire, that's for certain. We need the Soul Mask, don't we? Right, as you can see, that's exactly what we still need. Why would the Neox require a mask to operate the machine? If I had to guess, it was to ensure their only allies could get to the Neox city on Craggy Peak. Only their allies, excuse me. And speaking of allies and enemies, Soul Mask is perilously close to our enemy, King Woe of Caucho. Wachao. King Woe of Wachao. The Ouroboros is under distant Caucho Palace, from which King Woe is waging war on Passage. Caucho has sent waves of soldiers to conquer Passage. We fended off their attacks. Do you think that the Caucho soldiers are trying to get their hands on the Alchemy Forge? Do you think so? It's possible, I suppose. But how could they have anything to do with it? And how could they do anything with it? What do you mean? Well, we adepts can only start it up, and even now we still need the Soul Mask to actually use it. You know, that mask seems just as important to us as the people of Passage. So it's twice as important to find that Soul Mask. It's funny because we could have come here first and then heard about it in Caucho. But since I went there first, we didn't know about it. Kraden did think this machine was very important. It does seem that Bogo and his people have fallen upon hard times without their forge. We cannot ask you to enter the Ouroboros for our sakes. It is far too dangerous. No, no. What is inside the Ouroboros? It's a fiendish labyrinth. Its twisting, turning coils have ensnared all who dare enter it. Gramps, that's some crazy story. Stop calling me that! Nevertheless, it's all true. The Ouroboros is a maze filled with riches. Many treasure hunters have ventured inside. But None have ever returned, not one in all these years. Have any adepts ever tried? Elder? I don't believe so. Perhaps you could succeed. We of Passage could never thank you enough if you were able to restore our alchemy forge fully. And wouldn't the King of Ayuthe be fascinated? The King of Ayuthe? King Pythos. The ruler of Ayuthe is known as King Pythos. He has presided over a new era of prosperity brought by the restarting of Ayuthe's alchemy well. The people of Ayuthe are also descended from the Exati. They have their own ancient machine. Works just fine, those jerks. Ayuthe is another one of those machines? Theirs is called the Alchemy Well. This ancient machine was built by the Neox to produce water in vast quantities. The Ayuthe machine started working suddenly about 20 years ago. Ayuthe's growth has been explosive since then. I've been somewhat jealous. So my heart's desire is to see our alchemy forge at full strength again. Where are you hurrying off to all of a sudden? Before you leave Passage, you must learn more at our meeting hall. We have ancient secrets to share. I've had enough talking, please. Please come outside and climb the stairs on the side to reach it. I'll wait for you in our hall. I can move again, thank God. Ah, the forge still isn't started, so I still can't actually buy anything, can I? Yeah. So much regurgitating of the Neox stuff. Like, every other word was like the same thing. Hey! Sun Saga 3. Nice, I didn't miss it. Please, everyone, I must have your attention. We have special visitors to our meeting, the children of the Warriors of Vale. They have just arrived in Passage. They use their great synergy powers to restart our alchemy forge. Oh, wow. Our forge fixed? The synergy powers? I can't believe it. Visitors from Vale. Settle down. Our forge has been restarted, but it's not functional. We need a crucial item. Not functional? A crucial item? Yes, he just said that. But we have to get our forge working again. What we need is the soul mask from the Ouroboros labyrinth. It is said to hold an important mask that is a critical piece of ancient machinery. Can I ask, what else do you stream? I'm a variety streamer. I stream whatever I want to play. So right now it's this. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, the story mode of that, which I did earlier today. Still finishing up Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. And that's pretty much going to be it for this year. Early next year, I'm actually going to take a break in the beginning of January. I'm going to be a donation host for Awesome Games Done Quick at the end of the week. So I'm going to be on there. And then when I come back, I'm probably going to do some new stuff. Not the Ouroboros Labyrinth. Well, that's under Caucho Palace. I think right now... I have a lot of games planned for next year, but right now, Mega Man X8. I'm going to be doing a playthrough of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World when it comes out on Switch. Probably as one of the DLC characters. Creepy Castle on Steam I haven't finished yet. Probably gonna do a Smash stream when Sephiroth comes out for that. Mario 35 I'll probably do with that as well. And then there's a couple other things I've planned, but it's up in the air right now. I don't want to plan anything out farther than what I have on my plate right now, just because I have 3 games already in motion here. I will do multiplayer stuff if people ask to play with me, though. It depends on what's available. Then it's hopeless. Maybe not. I think I know a way to get the soul mask. Calm down, everyone. The children of the Warriors of Vale will fetch it for us. So please, offer them your insights. Now please enter, friends. These elders possess great wisdom. You may find something vital for your journey in their thoughts. I forgot I could just play this whole game with the mouse. I've informed everyone about what you plan to do. We're all relying on you to bring us the Soul Mask. My name is Boggy, so you're helping my grandfather, Bogo? And you must be headed to Caucho to find what we need to make the alchemy forge functional. Why would you do this for us? Do you perhaps hope to get across the mountains? The ancients crossed the mountains by a special passage, or so it's said. If the alchemy forge was working, I'm sure you could go the same way. So if you must enter Ouroboros, I know someone who might know how to survive that labyrinth. His name is Amity. He leads a pretty privileged life in Ayutthaya. I guess you could say he's their golden child. This nephew to King Pythos is the Prince of Ayutthaya. He is also a good friend of Boggy, from Passage. So it's difficult for most outsiders to get anywhere near him, but I'm his friend. I know a way. But I'll need to give you something first. Follow me. I'm ruminating upon Caucho Palace. King Woe had that palace built upon ancient ruins. He has raised himself high by disrespecting the past. I am meditating upon the Ouroboros. It is by Ouroboros that you will enter a labyrinth, and it is by labyrinths that treasures are found. Thus in the Ouroboros you should come face to face with the Soul Mask. I am contemplating the Ouroboros puzzles. The ancient Ayutthaya people, then part of the Exothi, helped build the labyrinth, so aside from the ancient Neox, the Ayutthaya people must hold the secrets of surviving it. I am pondering our alchemy forge. Our ancestors crafted many things for the ancients with it. They used a floating material we call Zol. Perhaps Zol was used to make something that could cross the sky. Now where did I put it? I already ransacked all that stuff, dude. That's odd. Ah, found it! Now, before I give this to you, I've got to tell you the latest news from Ayutthaya. King Woe of Caucho wants to take over Ayutthaya. In fact, he's got the main castle surrounded by troops. But don't worry, King Woe's soldiers can't possibly succeed. The people of Ayutthaya have hidden deep under the castle grounds where Caucho can't find them. There's a gate into this hidden city, but I hear the Caucho's generals cannot open it. No one can. So if you want to get inside Ayutthaya, you'll need this. Tree flute. Oh, nice. I know what to use that for. This flute is the secret into getting into the castle, but it still won't be easy. You'll need to get past the generals to reach the inner Ayutthaya courtyard. There you'll find a strange and ancient tree. Walk up to it, then play this flute. That tree is your only way into Ayutthaya. Once you get inside, find Amity. Or maybe it's Amity, since there's literally a character in Puyo Puyo Tetris named Amity. Oh, I bet our Zol transport might be working now that you've powered up the forge. That's the fastest way down to the bottom of our mountain. It hasn't been used in my lifetime. Look for it near the Zol storehouse. Okay then, go find that Soul Mask. We're all counting on you. Oh my god, finally the dialogue is over. Except not really, because now I have another Sun Saga to read. Fuck. Flute that always plays in the right key. Nothing happened. Third part of the Warriors of Vale story. In pursuit of Felix and Alex, the heroes entered lands that brimmed with mystery. They met foreign peoples whose lives were tossed and turned by the fates of those terrible times. Hama was Ivan's sister. But no matter what hurdles stood in the heroes' way, they still found a way forward, the flooded peaks of Alton. In their travels, one thing was clear, the rising tide of chaos. The Mercury Lighthouse, they guessed, was causing all the problems with its chaotic influence on water. but the waves of monsters they fought. All fell before their valor, giving the heroes greater confidence. After reaching Tolbi, the greatest city of Angara, they crossed the bridge to another continent. They tossed? Wow. The heroes entered the Gondwana continent and braved its vast deserts. In time, they fought their way to the city of Lalivero, home to the Venus Lighthouse. They were ready to face the dangers of the second lighthouse. Unfortunately, Alex and his party had already beaten them there. The Venus Lighthouse, emerging from the desert sands, was even more mysterious than the Mercury Lighthouse. The climb up the Venus Lighthouse was fraught with peril, but at long last the heroes caught up with the fiends. But they didn't find Felix or Alex waiting for them at the top. They instead came face to face with warriors from a strange land who were immensely powerful. In a brutal battle, the heroes narrowly defeated the warriors, but they couldn't stop the lighthouse from being activated. There was a shocking release of its elemental earth power. The Venus Lighthouse began to collapse. As it crumbled, Felix lost his grip on one of the captives, Sheba, the priestess of Lalivero. He jumped after her. The two vanished into the waves far below the lighthouse. Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier about jumping off the lighthouse. So those 3 books sum up the story of the first game, and then I think there's 2 more that sum up the second game, which is ridiculous because the second game is way longer than the first one. Ew. I like how just enough of the forge is working now that I could use the lift. Okay, so we can't go to Ouroboros, so we have to now go back to Ayuthe. Let me check my Jin guide. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. Oh, excuse me. Bark, Ether, Cinder. Yeah, I got all those already. Okay, yeah. Cinder, Steel... Breath will be the next one. Okay, so that's the one we saw in Ayuthe. Again, I just don't want to miss anything since there's multiple points of no return in this game, which is the worst part of it. And some of the Jin are permanently missable if you don't grab them. What are those? They're kind of like... It's interesting. They're used for multiple things. So in battle, you could take a Jin that you found. It does various things. Like this one will attack with a blow that can cleave stone. And let's say, well, let's not have her use one. Let's have Tyrell use a fire one. So Jin have different effects. Like this one doesn't attack. Does a lot of damage. Now, if you look at the top screen, you can see the Djinns up there. Now, when you use a Djinn, they go from set to standby, and when they're on standby, you can either set them back to you to gain stats. If you look at the top screen now, it actually lowers my stats if I don't have it on. And you lose, it changes your class and changes what spells you have. But, if they're in standby mode, you can also summon spirits. You can either summon like a simple one with just one, or you can combine multiple ones to of the same type to get more powerful ones, or you can even find special summons that rely on multiple elements. Like this one, Zagan. Let me show this one off. Vertical. Here we go. Didn't do much damage because he's resistant to it. But yeah, and then after you use it, after you use them, they also, after you summon, they also raise your elemental power. So if I use Zagan, it raises both my fire and my earth power for whoever summons it. However, after you do a summon, they're then exhausted. So as you can see, these two Djinn are now, like, they're recovering. And if I walk around... you'll hear a noise. Yeah, there you go. Whenever you hear that, that's one of each type of Djinn, or one of each character's Djinn. Yeah, it's pretty good. And this game, this was a thing since the GBA games, and all the summons always looked very nice. Like, the sprites for them that were, like, hand-drawn art looked really nice. This game uses 3D models, and I would say it's the most impressive graphically. It's one of the most impressive graphics, 3D graphics on the 3DS, on the DS, on the original DS. I would say that the summon quality is near 3DS quality in how they look. But yeah, the reason you want them equipped outside of battle is because if you don't, like, look at the top screen, if I put them on standby, it lowers my stats. And if I put multiple on standby, then... Wait, hold on. Okay, so that's not going to change anything. Depending on how many you take off, it might take away spells that you have. Also, I have all of the same element as the person using them, so I have Earth Guy using Earth, Wind person using Wind. But if you mix and match them, like right here, I have the Water person using Water and Earth. They actually get, like, completely different spells. Like, right now they have Ice attacks, or Water attacks, and Earth attacks. But if I put this on standby, then it's all Water with, like, certain other special ones. And if I set it to this stat, to this class, I have different spells, but my stats are all lower except for my agility. So it's kind of like a neat mix and match system. It lets you choose your classes for everyone, even though it's really just what stats do you want to excel in and what spells do you want for each character. Ooh, excuse me. Water and Earth make ice, yeah. It's not a very complex system. Essentially, you don't need to really use the summons at all, except for, like, the hidden battles where it's, like, really hard. I barely use Djinn at all, honestly. I keep them mostly set until, what a lot of people do is towards the end of the game, they'll do what's known as summon rushing on, hard enemies. Oh, whoops, I just went the wrong way. They'll do what's known as summon rushing, where you'll go into battle, with, like, you'll open the Djinn menu, press Y, make them all standby, and then first turn of battle, you just start bum rushing the enemy with summons. But, like, you could look, like, if you look up where the characters' names are on the top screen, you can see their stats, like, tank if you do that. So it makes you, like, way weaker. And enemies can kind of mess you up. So there's a lot of strategizing with them. And it adds a bit more depth to an otherwise very, by-the-books RPG. Wait, why am I using it here? It's a tree flute. I know where it's supposed to be used. Whoa, I'm gonna vom. They found the way inside. How could they not? You kept laughing. Now they know about us. We overheard those generals saying that they're adepts. They're coming round. They're awake. Their eyes are open. Oh god, more dialogue. It's probably going to be close to where I end the stream here. It's after 3. Their eyes are open, but they do not yet see. Welcome, strangers. I'm sorry your arrival was so jarring. What? What happened? Did we pass out or something? Our giant tree is such a mystery. When you played the flute, it drew you down more powerfully than usual. Now, strangers, know that you are most welcome here. Well, thanks, I guess, but who are you? Who is he? How dare you speak to Amity like that? They can't really be adepts, can they? We beg your pardon. You're Amity. Boggy sent us to you. Ah, Boggy. Now I see. He gave you his tree flute. Flute is said to be made from ancient trees that once grew near a Yute castle. Its craftsmanship is undeniably old. We can't be certain, Amity. They might have robbed Boggy. The children say they saw them deliver a letter from King Woe to the Gaucho generals. King Woe sent them to join the generals, to help them with Gaucho's attack on a Yute. But the generals refused to let them in the army. What's this? They were turned away. Why wouldn't the generals want adepts in their army? They gave them a different job, to purge the evil spirits they've been hearing nearby. Which is just silly, since it was just those two laughing when we were supposed to be hiding quietly. We're sorry, we're only playing. It just gets so boring. I suppose you're going to blame us for the statues the generals smashed too. I understand everything now. Understand what? All this foolishness about adepts joining the Gaucho army. My friends ran to get me, worried that our enemies had found us at last. So that's why the laughing stopped the moment we gave our letter to the generals. And we heard you were adepts. Yeah, powerful adepts. We ran to tell Amity that you'd come all the way to a Yute. It's 10:04 a.m. at the moment for you. Wow, nice. It must be nice to be up and running so early. It is 3 a.m. here, and I have work at 1:30 in the afternoon usually. And just as they told me, you played the tree flute. I assumed Boggy had come. We're sorry for the confusion. I swear we didn't come to aid Gaucho. We came to help Passage. So what do we do with them now, sir? We should take them to see Pyth. Are you sure? Straight to Pyth? You mustn't. But these people are outsiders. I guess they must really trust these adepts. Well, who's this Pyth then? Is this guy really worth all the security? Where are you from? You're South African. Oh, nice. I'm from the east coast of the United States. New Jersey, specifically. How can he not know? Pyth is wondrous beyond comprehension. How can an adept not know this? Please, let's be more patient with our guests. Pyth is our king. His full name to outsiders is Pythos. Pyth would want to see any adepts that came our way. But we have no proof they're adepts, and yet you take them to the king? Adepts are descendants of the Janae. Just thus, by ancient bonds, we must offer them help and hospitality. Besides, Pyth has anticipated their arrival. He's been predicting lately that adepts would arrive in a Yuthe. I'll lead the way. Please, follow me. Stay close. Don't stray. I'll be taking a secret path. Ladders in here go to secret chambers. It's so fun to hide in them and play. If Ku Tsung and Ku Ember are tough generals, why are they so scared of spirits anyway? The Kaocho army is camped in the city. They're sort of just hanging around. I hope they give up and go home. They say the adepts are descendants of the Jinne, but who could say for sure? Those Kaocho soldiers don't scare us. Once old King Pyth gives the word, we'll send them packing. I see. They could just watch from the sidelines here. And no one thought to, like, look through there and see them? Like, when they look through those windows, they see that room. They would just smash the wall down. Horny jail. This is the secret way to the throne room. It looks impassable, does it not? Watch as I play one of our ancient flutes. He's highfalutin. Ancient secrets like these still hold such wonder for me. Such a heavy slab, and yet it moves at the sound of a flute. The ancient Exati built such things in many of their cities and castles, such as this, and our great tree. The throne room isn't far from here. Please, come with me. I am not content. If I go any further, I'm going to get into another long conversation. I think I'm going to wrap it up, just because it is 3:10 now, almost, and I really need to, I should probably just sell these herbs. I don't need them, and I really need to, get ready to go to bed. Let's see what new terms I missed here. Grip Crystal. The Jinne artifact was hidden in the Kampa ruins. It must be equipped to gain the necessary synergy. Sheba. This warrior Veil helped Felix and his compatriots trigger the Golden Sun. She is a brave ally and a skilled wind adept. While her actual origins are still unknown, some say she is a child of the gods, since she literally fell out of the sky as a baby. This woman is the assistant to King Wo's advisor, Kanshuku. We already read that one, though. Doesn't look like that one even really changed anything. Yeah, it is best to rest here. Let me save it. Okay, and saved, and double saved. Perfect. Cool. Well, that's all for tonight. That was a good 6 hours of stream I just did there. 3 of Puyo and 3 of this. Tomorrow I'm probably not streaming just because I want to get through my voice acting auditions again, because I only cleared half of them last week and it's starting to grow already. Save? Yeah, it does. Saving on this program kind of slows it down a lot. That happened when I was playing Solado Robo, and that game had like no slowdown the entire time I was playing it. Unfortunately, it's the only way I could really stream this. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing auditions. Tuesday I'll probably come back with more Puyo Tetris 2. And then Wednesday will probably be Hyrule Warriors. Thursday will be more Puyo if I need to. And then Friday will be Hyrule Warriors again. That'll probably finish up both of those games, and then I'll focus on this until I finish it. And then whenever Sephiroth comes out in Smash, I'll be playing the Smash stream then too. And we'll see. And then at the end of the month, I'll be taking my break when AGDQ comes around. But seriously, thank you everyone that was here tonight. Thank you, Rough Gem. Around the same time? Yeah. I'm generally going to be streaming around midnight. So it's, what is it, 10? It's 10 o'clock over there. 3, 3 hours sooner. So yeah, 7 a.m. your time is usually when I start streaming. On the weekends, I might start earlier, but during the weekdays, it's always around that time. But yeah, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you for following. I'm going to follow back everyone who followed me today. Definitely thankful for the raids. If you want to watch more streams, check out twitch.tv/team/wildabandon. There's plenty of people there to watch. I'm probably going to send someone... I'm going to look here and actually see who's online and probably raid someone once I go offline. So you might want to stick around. Who could use a host right now? What's Frostcat playing? Call of Duty. Get amped. Code Vein. Alright, well if you want to watch some shooty games, stick around because I'll be rating Frostcat. You focus more on YouTube? Yeah, that's fine. That's valid. YouTube is just as good as Twitch at times. Also just as bad. But, yeah, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the new follows, too. I will see you all Tuesday. Y'all have a great evening. And thank you. Good night. Call of Duty, shoot a man. Alright, you have a good night. I'll be raiding in just a moment.
I understand if you don't want to talk about numbers.